welcome to this spontaneous bit of filming I've decided to do. Now, I've just set up a few bits in the kitchen. This is what I'm going to do. I wasn't going to film, and I thought, you know what, why not let you join my little adventure that I'm doing now. So anyway, this is Best Friend Barbie. Now, if you follow me on social media, you will have seen I made this dress for her. I did use a pattern from, I have to put it on the screen, it's something cat with a K, but I did make it differently. Sorry, I had to stop the video and be just some caning. So yeah, I'll stop the video. So basically this pattern, what did I say? I did make it slightly differently. I didn't really read the instructions. I did glance at them, but when I was looking at them, they didn't marry up with what I was doing, but it didn't really matter. The end result kind of looks the same. So I've made the belt and I've turned it through using overlocker threads, but I haven't actually trimmed this. Basically, I folded the ends over first. Doesn't matter because obviously you've not probably made this, but what I did, I turned my ends over and sewed them down. Then I put some overlocker thread throughout the middle of it. Then I sewed it with the overlocker, and then I had the thread to pull it through. It's a bit of a nifty technique for pulling things through, but I hadn't trimmed any of the threads. So these are actually open on the ends. They're stitched, they're hemmed, but I've not stitched them. So I've got a knitting needle, I could put it through, but yeah, I could sew that after. It's not a big deal. But what it is, this pattern, I'll see if I can get a picture for you. And please, excuse the noise, the state of the kitchen. We're going through renovation, so we're not exactly in a lovely state at the moment. And the state of me, it's really warm, and I've been doing housework and lunches and things. Yeah, and it's really, really hot. So yeah, so there's meant to be a belt, which I obviously made, but it's meant to have a buckle, which I didn't have. It's meant to be like a 12mm buckle, 1/2 inch buckle. So Barbie's gonna get a buckle, and how I'm going to do it is now, you'd need a buckle die to do what I'm doing. Now I've got a Sizzix Big Shot. I'll lift it up. Right, one of these things for die cutting, and this takes these thick steel dies. I wouldn't need a steel die for this, or this thick, but it does. This happens to be one, and I'm going to be using this one in the corner. I'll show you what it is. This is the Sizzix Bigs. What is it called? Carrot cake. Scrap and Friends. It's an. I'll show it you. Don't worry. Is it an Eileen something or other? Is it? No. I'll show it you. I'll show you the cover. And I'll give you the product code for this. It's 663480. Booking closures, it says, and it's Ellison. So I'm going to be using this. Now they're bigger than what they are on the picture. I was expecting them to be like this, and these are for scrapbooking, but I'm going to try and use it for a Barbie belt. So I might have to put Barbie down. Let's grab a ribbon. Right, oh nice, you can still see her. So I am going to use, now I was going to use some plastic, but I tried cutting out a buckle before I got this idea. I tried cutting it out with a knife, and then it was just splitting. So if I'd have saved it, I might have been able to do it on this. It might not have worked, but yeah, I could try. So I only need a little corner. Right, I'm just going to go and get some paper scissors, just so I can just cut a corner out, because I've got to kind of put it in here. There's no point me doing that, because I don't want to cut all these pieces out. It's just that bit. So yeah, I'll be back in one moment. Right, I'm back. So I tend to try and see how much I need. I put it over the piece. Doesn't matter if it is bigger. Now I'd say this card is about a 350 GSM. It's actually one that you can do calligraphy on, so your calligraphy won't run. So it's pretty decent. So I probably shouldn't really be using this, but I am using it. So I'm going to pop that over that corner like that. Now these, you have these plastic plates. You have like these shims and things. So if you were doing thick like embossing folders or thinner dies, you'd need this, but I don't need it because you don't for these thick steel ones. You just basically put your plastic bit, like look at the state of it, that's how much I've used it. I've used it a lot. It's not a paper crafter as well. Then you load it into the machine. That machine, I'll lift it up for you to see actually. I'll take this attachment off because it doesn't want to come off. Right, I'll feed it into this handle. You just basically roll it and it will crack, make cracking noises. Can you see? You just wheel it through. Now I know my design has already gone through there, but I'll just keep going. Sometimes if you think it hasn't cut, you can go backwards, but this looks like it has cut. It's very rare it wouldn't cut, in all honesty, especially with these steel ones. So I'll try and show you what we're left with. I'll lift it up. So it's come out like that. That's the bit I don't need. That's just some excess that I didn't need. My son's messaging me then, so if I went weird, people I film on my phone, so it'd be really distracting. That's the buckle. I think it's going to be big enough. And those are just excess pieces that I don't need. Now I've never used this die before, which I'm so excited to do it. I'm struggling to find all my things at the moment because I'm between two craft rooms. When I was moving out of my craft room, I was thinking, oh, I found this. And I've kind of dumped them as organised as I can in the other room. But then when I think, where is that? I struggle to find it. So yeah, I couldn't find my die cutting, this machine, it wasn't even in there. It was on the dining chair in the conservatory anyway. So I was looking in the wrong place. So here we go. Now what I'm going to do, because this is only paper, now I could cut this out twice and have a double layer. Do you know what, shall I do that? Yeah, let's do it. I've spent all that time putting that back in there and I'm doing it again. Never mind. I can use that as a bit of a size guide for cutting my next piece. So like that. Put that on. You could do 2 layers, you could do 3 layers. Do you know what I'm going to do? Just for, this is quite thick card. I'm going to cut an extra layer. Now what you could always do is stick layers together, then cut it, but then it's a lot more thickness. I'm going to cut through 2 of these. I'm sure this can do it. And if it didn't, you just roll it backwards and it'll get it on the second go. So here we go. Yeah, it's done it. No problem at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue these together now. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to glue them and then I'll come back to you. I thought I'd show you what glue I'm using. I'm using these Coco, is it? I don't know. It's this, look. This is my second one of these. I used my other one. It took me 2 years to use it and used it all up. It's all natural. So yeah, I'm just gonna, you basically get a little brush in the middle, you dip in it, and I'm just gonna brush these and stick them together and I'll come back to you. Now what I forgot to mention is when I was pasting this glue on, I'm using a non-stick mat. It's for a glue gun mat. So it just means if you get any excess glue over the edge, you're only getting it on your mat and you can just, you haven't got to worry about it. So what I've done is I've stuck those together. It's good to weight it down. I'll just put that on it. Oh, there's a bit of wet under there. And then I'll dry it on my leg. Really professional this is, isn't it? This demonstration. But I'll just leave that on there for a little moment. Now what I'll do is, ideally, you need to leave something. I like to leave things to set overnight. but because I'm doing this on video, I'm not going to do that. So now what I'm thinking of doing is putting clear nail varnish on this and putting some gems on it. So I'm just going to have a look at the picture of the belt and see what theirs look like, to see if I can get a bit of inspiration. That was quite useful actually. It's got the design is called Tangled Cat. So yeah, I got to see it. So yeah, I'm going to just crack on. Theirs was heavily diamanted by what I could see on that picture. Now I've got these stick-on diamantes. So yeah, I'm just going to randomly pick these off. This is a pokey tool. You could use like a darning needle or anything. I kind of lift them up so they're like that, and then I place them where I want them to go. So I'll put one on and then I'll show you. I haven't decided how I want to put these yet. So I've done that. So I'm going to just continue in that manner and paint it with clear nail varnish. This is how it's looking so far. I've just put one in each, you know, quadrant, would you say, so it's divided into 4. And then I'm just going to have a look how many I've got left. Maybe I'll get 2 in between. So I've got 4 spaces. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've actually got, I could put, if I can squeeze them in, I can get 3 in. So if I can get 3 in, I have got enough. So yeah, leave it with me. Right, I managed to squeeze 3 between, you know, 1 in each corner. So I'm going to try and do that in all these bits now, and then I'll come back to you. So there we go. I've put 1 in each bit. Now, I don't think you see this middle bit because I think the belt covers it. So I'm going to put the clear nail varnish on now. I'm just using this vegan nail hardener, Sally Hansen. Excuse my nails today, it's like chipped nail varnish. So yeah, I'll paint this and then I'll come back to you. Just a thin layer. Right, I ended up putting quite big blobs of it on in the end. When I was like brushing it, it was kind of like dragging off some of the diamantes. They hadn't stuck wonderfully. So I kind of put them back on with my little tool, and I'm hoping obviously this will help it stick. And then I kind of put blobs over the top of it. So I'm just going to let that dry for quite some time, and then I'll have to come back to you later and then we'll try it on Barbie. I'll get tidied up anyway. Welcome back. Now what I did, I left it for a little while. I'm not convinced it's totally dry, in all honesty. I do think these could fall off. There's one offender, I think. It does want to go. And I painted the back of it in clear nail varnish as well. Now what I think would have been nice is maybe with these diamantes, if I'd have used metallic card, which I have got, or I'd painted this metallic and then stuck them on. I think that would have looked nice as well, but I think the white is going to set it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my belt that I've made it the size of the pattern, so hopefully it's going to fit. I thread it through from the back to the front, then I go back over that bar like that, and then what I do is on the back, I've got a seam here, so I'm doing a stain, that's my back. So I'm going to stitch that down. I might need like a zipper foot or something so I can get quite close. And then when that's stitched, I'll put it that way on the other side, like that. So I'll go and sew that on my machine and I'll come back to you. Welcome back. So yeah, I've stitched that down like this side, and then I've flipped it over this side and I've snipped my threads. I think I need to snip them a little bit better. I was using big scissors actually because my tiny snips were in here and I was sewing in the other room. So yeah, I'm going to try this on to Barbie now. Fingers crossed this is going to be large enough. Worst case scenario, if it's not large enough, I'll cut this off, make another one longer and just redo it basically, so all will not be lost. I can still reuse this buckle, so I'll wrap that around her. Now I thread from back to to front, just like you would with your own belt, and then go back in. I haven't got much to play with. I can't see from what I'm doing. Do you mind if I just turn around? I can see a little thread I need to snip. And there we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? So yeah, it really finishes it off nice actually. I'm so pleased with that. I just made my piece that she wouldn't have one because I thought, well, it looks okay as it is. But yeah, I'm really delighted. She's got a little belt buckle now. And yeah, going forward, I definitely can make my own for some things. They'd probably be a bit big for standard Barbie. But yeah, I might be on the lookout for smaller buckles so then I can make them for smaller dolls. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So thank you for joining me for this quick craft. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
A little nonsense is what I need. Now if you wanna get the best of me,